Even though I have Christmas decorations, I say it's still in the Thanksgiving mood. But I was able to watch the new horror movie Thanksgiving, so here's my review on the movie. Let's start off with everything I liked about it. And for starters, since I am a huge Scream fan, this movie is like Scream, but with a Thanksgiving holiday feel to it. And I feel like it really works with the type of movie it is going for. It has that comedy that Scream has, with also that horror that Scream has. And then this movie adds a holiday to it to really change it up. And I feel like it really works with the kind of movie that it is, and is really expanding upon that and really like working. The kills in here are also, if you've seen the trailer, the actual movie trailer, you will know that the kills in here are brutal. That like really works with the movie of how brutal everything is and how over the top everything is as well. Like the Black Friday scene at the beginning of the movie. That was probably my favorite part of the movie for what they did there and everything and how it set it up everything. But then everything else that follows is just brutal kills and everything. And they find really creative ways to make this Thanksgiving idea and really making it work into everything that the slasher is doing and really bringing that Thanksgiving idea together. It's not like, hey, let's just throw Thanksgiving out there because it's not really a movie based on Thanksgiving. They don't do that. They actually like focus the idea on Thanksgiving and makes this movie really work for like put on every day for Thanksgiving movie. Like I said before, this movie really does this horror really well and mixes in the comedy really well. So you basically have Scream. And the comedy they do in here is different from Scream. That it's just different. Like, after each little horror thing, there's sometimes a comedy, but not mostly. And then throughout the movie, there's just comedy. Makes this a really fun movie as well, just like Scream was. Like I said, this movie reminded me a lot of Scream, but with Thanksgiving to it. And throughout the movie, just like Scream, you're trying to constantly guess who this person is behind the mask. Now, it's like that for all slashers, but this movie, again, does it well, just like Scream does. And it's hard not to compare this movie to Scream. I'm not saying it copied it. Well, it definitely took ideas from it. But it's not obvious that it did that. Like, they don't have the rules in there that Scream does. But you can tell if you've seen Scream that there's a lot of similarities coming from that movie. But it's not like over the top where it's like, okay, why would I be watching this when I could just easily watch Scream? That's not what this movie does. This movie is really smart with the kills, the comedy, the story behind Thanksgiving, the motive for the slasher, and then the person behind the mask themselves, and everything just ties in really nicely, and is a Scream movie, but on Thanksgiving. And I will definitely be watching this every year, but the movie's not perfect. Before I get to that, make sure you guys like and subscribe, comment down below your thoughts, follow my letterboxd called The Cold Man Movie, and let's move on to everything I did not like about the movie. Some things in this movie are completely unrealistic. Now, this didn't cause a huge problem for me, but basically every horror movie has this, where the characters are dumb and make the worst decision possible. It's a horror movie. You cannot have that there without it being a horror movie. But when I say things are unrealistic, like there's certain kills in here that there's a couple that wouldn't play out like that way in real life. I mean, like, stuff is over the top. That's not a bad thing, but maybe make it a little more realistic. Some things don't really play out as well. Like, there's certain kills in here that are, I wouldn't say over the top, but the way they're killed is just not realistic. And, I mean, like, this is a very small issue, but It's not big enough to throw me off from the film, but it is in there. But other than that, I don't really find a problem with this movie. Now, yes, it's not perfect, but there's nothing really for me to talk about and dive into. Because I'm recording this review, and I had all day to think about the review. And throughout the entire time, I could not think about a bad thing for this movie. Like, the entire time for me thinking, I could not think of a single bad thing about this movie. That's why my only reason for what I did not like about the movie was what I just stated. Because I don't really know if there's anything bad about this movie. Now, like I said, it's not perfect. I do not think it's in the top 10 of the year. But I have nothing to say, really, about what makes it bad. It's just that there's better movies that I'd rather watch. But this is still a really good one to put on that I do highly recommend. But there's nothing really bad about it that really drives me. And nothing that makes me want to sit down and talk about it. But like I said, I do recommend this movie. I can't think of a bad thing to say about it, but I still have to give it an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, and I don't know why. I don't know what the problem is. I know it's in my head somewhere, but I can't say anything about it because I don't really know if there's anything wrong with this movie. But it's just not up there. It's not up there. It's just on that good tier. It's not up there. And I don't really know why. I just found it good. And I don't really have anything bad about this movie. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.